We now have video footage of a BBC interview, and you will be surprised, or maybe not really, to see that even though Elon caught the BBC interviewer lying, BBC still implies that actually it was Elon Musk lying. This is ridiculous. Let's go through the whole thing.
There's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
what hate
something
speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
Personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content, yeah, personally. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
So you see more hate speech personally.
Clearly, the reporter just said that he sees more hate speech on Twitter now compared to before. It's not like he's going to change his statement just a few seconds later, which would obviously be lying, right?
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Okay, and the reporter just confirmed that yes, indeed, he does see more hate speech on Twitter.
In that
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples.
This is now the third time this reporter says he sees more hate speech on Twitter than before, and he said that all in just a matter of a minute or two or three.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore.
Translation: this does not fit my narrative anymore, so we're just gonna make up a different interpretation of why I was still not lying earlier, is what the reporter is trying to do here.
Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
and
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Look how surprised he is. Then Elon calls him out.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
What I claimed was...
Not a lie, because, I changed the definition of what a lie is, because now I'm going to make up a completely different thing that I meant to say earlier, even though I confirmed 3 times that indeed I was saying the thing that Elon was talking about. But watch me now change the whole narrative of what I was talking about, is what the reporter is really thinking here.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organizations that say that that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my feed
Give me one
or
example.
Not, I mean, right, and
Literally
if you look
can't
at
name
something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example, and you can't name one.
right, and as I've already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know
this
this hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Look at how baffled Elon is right here. He just cannot believe what he has just witnessed and heard. He is wondering, how is this even possible? I caught this guy lying in front of me and he just denies it.
And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
It truly is baffling how the media wants to question people, but then the moment they get questioned, they don't like it. They think it's ridiculous or that somehow that is not fair, mostly because that just makes them look really silly, ridiculous, and stupid.
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. If you want to talk about the BBC,
you too.
All right, let's talk about something else.
You weren't expecting that.
Elon completely obliterated this BBC reporter. And BBC now has their article written about what actually happened. What I find really convenient for BBC also is that this instance, this exchange, is described pretty much at the very bottom of the article. Can't really blame them for that, I guess. Why would they want to make themselves look bad? But they actually go on the offensive here, except they still don't do a good job. He claimed that there was less misinformation on Twitter since the takeover and that his efforts to delete bots, automated accounts, will decrease fake news. But many outside experts disagree. One study, and there are quite a few others along the same lines, which we will not show to you because we don't know why shouldn't we not show it to you? Yeah, we're not going to even mention that. We're not going to even put any links. We're not even going to put any sources. What we say is the truth. So just because we say it, people, of course, will believe us. So here's what we are going to say. These other studies, which we are not going to mention, found engagement with popular misinformation spreading accounts spiked after Mr. Musk's takeover. He repeatedly questioned whether journalists were fair arbiters of truth and said he had more trust in ordinary people. Now, I personally haven't been using Twitter much before Elon actually took over Twitter, so I can't really say from experience whether it has gotten worse or better. My personal experience is I just go on Twitter to get Tesla stock news. Everything else I don't really want to see. I'm not interested in getting in fights. But what I find really silly here is that they say outside experts disagree. One study, but they don't name the experts and they don't name the study. This is not good reporting at all. This is propaganda. And look, if hate speech actually increased on Twitter, okay, show me the facts. And I will go along with that. But how come you are not showing me what study it is? You're not naming the experts. You're just saying it so that people believe you? I don't know why you would do such a thing when you were clearly attacked and called out a liar. And yet, this is the best response that you can come up with. This response from BBC basically says that Elon Musk lied, but yet offers no proof of such thing.
I think it was around just under 8,000, and we're about 1,500 right now.
Okay. And has it been hard letting that many people go?
Yeah, it's not fun at all. It's painful. The company's either going to go bankrupt, or if we do not cut costs immediately, this is not a caring, uncaring situation. It's like if the whole ship sinks, then nobody's got a job.
So Twitter used to have 8,000 and now it only has 1,500 people, and yet Twitter works just fine. That's Elon Musk for you.
This hasn't been some sort of party. It's been really quite a stressful situation. So it's been quite painful, but I think at the end of the day, it should have been done. I think, were there many mistakes made along the way? Of course, but all's well that ends well.
Mario certainly comes to mind, especially one of his fingers. This was posted from a verified Nintendo account. What used to be just a blue check mark is now really an affiliation badge. So if you see an affiliation badge like this one, or any kind of badge really, you know this person is real. If you see a blue check mark, now you're thinking, okay, probably not a bot, probably, and that person is paying $8 a month. But really, to know that someone is real, you need to see this. For example, Elon Musk has this affiliation badge, a Twitter affiliation badge. So now you can't really impersonate Elon Musk. You may get a blue check mark and you may have the same name as Elon, but you won't have a Twitter affiliation badge. So this is the way to tell if someone is real or not now.
Have I shot myself in the foot with tweets multiple times? Yes. I think I should not tweet after 3 a.m. If you're going to tweet something that maybe is controversial, save it as a draft and look at it the next day and see if you still want to tweet it.
Probably since about the beginning of this January, I think Elon's tweets have not been as controversial. We still had some controversial tweets, but I don't think nowhere near as many and nowhere near as controversial. Some Tesla stock investors are certainly happy with that.
I sometimes sleep in the office. There's a library that nobody goes to on the 7th floor, and there's a couch there, and I sleep there sometimes.
That's quite some serious dedication from Elon Musk, and this is an important message to all Tesla stock investors. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.